Um, in ceremony, they call me Ogimau Mako, leading bear man. Ogimau could be interpreted in many ways to describe a person. And they chose that word leader, leading. Over the years, I've tried to find myself in this world of make-believe, and I found myself realizing that if I look into the history books or in the stories of our people and our ancestors, it's all there. But it's been misinterpreted along the way. Just this year, I could see myself opening and turning a new page in my life. What that is, I don't know, but that's one of the reasons why I'm here, is I'm figuring out my new leadership role. I'm figuring out my new direction. So I welcome you to walk with me in the journey that you see from this day forth that I leave here. It'll be a good one, as always. The challenges I face are ones that might be a little upset in stirring the pot, because we live in a society that has misinterpreted who we are as Indian people. I was lucky to have been born in a place called Ashern, outside my reservation, called Lake Manitoba. When I was younger, they called it Dog Creek. I don't know why they changed it. But they had their reason. So I am here today to let you guys know that I'm walking almost as an empty cup. And I ask you to join me to fill it up with what I don't know. But it's going to be good enjoying what the next years to come are going to be. So you guys will be hearing me over the next while in the media, pushing the envelope, calling out people who are misinterpreting us. And within myself, I'm going to redefine the truth of who I am as an Anishinaabe man. I'm not going to walk around and carry my pipes or my bundle and pray every step that I walk. But I am going to walk in a way of dignity. As you can see, I haven't planned this. With dignity and strength in the imaginative Indian that I believe that I should have learned in the history books of the Anishinaabe nation. So today I ask you to listen to my voice. Where I go, I don't know. But I speak with my heart. That's one true thing that I found in my life that I lead. I was a little nervous coming today because earlier today I spilled my guts, and today I do it again. But we're live on the web series, and it's hard to perform for a camera when you're you as Adam Beach, not, kicking wing or kicking ass and Joe Dirt. But life's a garden, you dig it, So, before I start, I'd like to sing a song just to acknowledge the territory I'm in that way. Nanegi che mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Chimigwe chkiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Onegiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Chimigwe chkiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Onegiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Chimigwe chkiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Onegiche mene to Yahweh, Yahweh. Chimigwe chkiche mene to Gemama Kodesh Nakaze Yahweh, Yahweh. Anegich mene to Gemama Kodesh Nakaz. I thank you for everything that you've given me and the opportunities that I see when I open my eyes. Please guide me in a way that I do not know or understand, but know you're there with the surroundings that I feel, whether it's the wind, light, or the people that I meet. It's an honor to be here. And I thank you for listening and helping me find my voice. Because if it wasn't for the truth of experiences that we have as Indian people, whether they're good, whether they're bad, is who we are. And it makes me who I am. So I thank you for living and being. Thank you. Ooh, boy! As you all know, I live a Hollywood life. I take upon characters and try to interpret who they are for your enjoyment. I found myself at times doing movies like Flags of Our Fathers, realizing the pain and anguish that we have as Native peoples endured through protecting our countries from the evil that's out there. When I did Wind Talkers, Code Talkers, that movie made me realize that we as Native people have been here in many generations of the existing of our country, whether it's Canada, whether it's America. It opened my eyes to show that we as Native people have a voice, a language, a strength that we keep in our hearts to share with people. If you want it, we'll give it to you. I want to represent us in a way of a battle. It's not war. But a struggle. I can put on a face and hide in a mask and show who we are. And films like Flags of Our Fathers allows me to dig deep to express who I am, but the pains that some of us have gone through. And that film represents not only a native man, but our warriors, whether they're Indian or not. So at a time when humans are needed to protect each other, there is no color. We are a people. And if we learn to work together and fight together, we can save the world. I like to smile. But when I truly reminisce of my life, there's anguish, loss, sorrow. And a lot of people don't realize that when I open my eyes, I see you. It is you that give me hope. To be a beacon of light. For the ones who have the thoughts of not wanting to be here, which is suicide. I remember I was speaking in a class on a reservation, talking about my experiences of being a Hollywood Indian, giving hope to these kids, reminding them, follow your dreams. You can be who you want to be. And it wasn't until this one kid who put his head down, and I said, hey, you, what's your dreams? You gotta have a dream. And the kid with his head down said, all I have is nightmares. I stepped back, realizing this is something that I am not familiar with. I don't know what to say to this kid. So I quickly jumped in and said, dude, there's going to be a dream you can follow. And then I kind of lost thought. I don't even know what happened after that. And then when it was over, I asked the teacher and I said, what is with that kid? They said, he has just finished his treatment for solvent abuse. And he had a list of his survival through this trauma. So when I move forward, it is the strength of that boy who's 10. I don't know where he is now. for him to mutter those words to let us know that true feeling. He gives me hope that I can walk and do what I'm doing and raise awareness to change someone's life. So sometimes it's really difficult to be Adam and the Hollywood Indian when this stuff is happening. And I will, and I am, and I continue to do the things that I do to change, to make change. So I created the Adam Beach Film Institute so I can teach our young kids, or anybody really, to learn how to be filmmakers so we can create the Hollywood Indian. We have to tell these stories because it is a truth. But when people bring it up, it's quickly shuffled under the rug, which is okay because people don't want to be re-traumatized. People don't want to look and see what's in their backyard. When we don't do nothing about a situation, it has a huge impact on these kids. So we have to help them. How? We will. How I know is because I, as a child growing up, grew up in alcohol, grew up in sexual abuse. My gift was my parents died. How is that a gift? The gift allowed me to leave my place of existence, to move to the city, and it saved me from the past of those experiences happening. Now I had to learn to take my world and learn to live with this abandonment and this idea of being alone. What helped me was our traditional ways. These teachings at 16 woke me up. It enabled me to identify as being Indian. Not the Indian that I see when a racial slur is at me as a kid, or the jokes that people talk about us, or the lack of. There's just, I was lucky to be informed of our teachings in a positive way. So at 16, I'm now 44. I'm well-versed, well-taught, well-gifted. And those teachings are with me today. How can we help our people re-identify themselves? Is we all have to wake up and realize that history has been written in a way that has determined us as failures. We weren't strong enough to win battles. A lot of us are running around now with shame of residential schools. This continuing dialogue is now come to a place where we have to ignite ourselves again. We have to now acknowledge that things, people, a nation had tried to wipe us clean. So I'm hoping that with who I am now, the revamping of the Hollywood Indian, is to show that we were not savages. We were not filthy. We were holy. We were connected. We were loving. We would save lives. We would forgive. And we would fight. These are the images that I had to retool myself with. So when I woke up and looked in the mirror, I wasn't the failure. I was not going to be the stereotypical outlook that people have of us. Being in this school reminds me how educated we are, how enthusiastic we are, and how beautiful we are. Now, how do we get that back to our people that are on reservations, stuck and confined into a space of protection? They don't want to see anybody come to help them, because when people did that, it was horrific. So we're dealing with ourselves in a way that we're not remembering who we are. I can't go to a reservation and say, hey guys, you got to ship shape and do this. That's not the way. Because I've been to places, hey, thanks, dude. I've been to places that really that really are trying. So with my reservation, people are like, so what about your reservation? My reservation is very humble. They have their issues and their problems. But they like home. And that's all I can say about them. What I'm trying to do is to reinvigorate them with an outlook that we care for you. We care for Indian people. I found out that there was this kid who needed surgery for braces. It would have cost $6,000 and the government paid $110,000 to fight it. Ridiculous. And who was the one to help in that? I wish I knew, because I would have done something, but now that I know, I'm going to do something about it. I woke up realizing that I have been a little slow because I had to fix up my human being experience. Me and my wife, we broke up for 4 years. I ran away, did Arctic Air. It was a good healing experiment. But we healed up and we came back. We're married now. Thank you, Arctic Air. And now that I have my shit together, I'm ready to take this on. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to push the envelope a little bit. Because if you look at the history of what I do for a living, the native people are only the backdrop of movies. There's always somebody coming in to save us, to tell us what to do. And we have to change that because we have leaders, we have people who can do that. And now we just need our young filmmakers to come up and actually start writing, start telling their story, and start creating this new image. But before we can do that, we have to tell Hollywood no. I've always stayed out of the fight, but I finally boycotted a film that was hiring a non-Indian woman for their role, and that pissed me off. It woke me up to the death of my mom and wondering, what am I doing to protect our women? And then I did that to call them out. So I hope in return that when I start unraveling this new approach to things, that we as educators, thinkers, can do the same by writing, creating, sending messages, and doing it in a way that we're gonna stop this, because it's getting really silly, where I can't fathom what's going on right now, you know? So coming here, speaking to you guys, like, I'm so grateful and honored, but it's like, part of me is, are we doing enough? And that's one of the things I wanted to come and tell you guys is I'm going to start doing what I should have done 10 years ago, but, you know, I wasn't ready. But now I am. This last year, I put aside my bundle, and I wanted to give it a rest for a year because I wanted to fine-tune myself as a human being and not be distracted by my spiritual side. I really wanted to identify myself with my family and say, when my family is fine-tuned, I am ready to pick it up again. And I asked my wife to help me and my daughter and just talk about how I can be more. I love her, I love my family, but what more can we both do? So this whole year has been like a pick-me-up. We are planning to write our own movies, produce our own movies, and say no to Hollywood, basically. Someone told me in an interview that I was talking to about the whitewashing that's happening with diversity and etc. And this reporter said, "Adam, are you aware that you could get blacklisted and not work again?" And I laughed. I was like, I don't even have to work in Hollywood. I'll go be a carpenter. My wife said, no, you're not. But people are going to be, people don't like facing the truth. And I guess that's where I'm moving forward to, is the truth of who we are as Indian people. And I don't know if a lot have been fortunate enough to be in ceremony and lodges and community events. It's beautiful, and it's always been there. It hasn't left. So I want to walk with a reminder of living the old way. I've always told people I want to live the future. The cycle has to begin again, renew itself. When? I don't want to wait for it. I want it to do it now. So I renewed my circle. So when I'm out and about and I see, derelicts on the street, I'm like, hey, how's it going, bro? Because they're like me. I don't see their unfortunate place of being homeless. Or if I see something that really bothers me, I kind of know there's going to be a better, there's going to be a pot of gold at the rainbow. I'll have some water. You guys came back, huh? It's a little bit different from earlier today. No, I was joking earlier. I'm coming from a deep place. I usually don't know how, and I'm gonna how everything's gonna flow. Yeah, so there's a lot of, if you look at filmmaking right now, a lot of people are finding struggles with making their movies and funding, and there's an indigenous fund that's going to happen now that is ours. So filmmaking is going to change drastically next year when they open the doors. We don't have to fight for it anymore. So we have that place. So it's kind of nice that I'm planning to move back to Toronto to reintegrate this new strategy in filmmaking. And obviously you guys, I welcome you to join me when it all happens. It's going to be big. I live in Florida with Mickey Mouse. Well, I'm close to Orlando, but I've always had a dream of making a Native American Disney. When I was 25, I was very much wanting everything. So I would tell people that our future is Disney. We're going to be Disney. And I still believe in that. I own a cable network online called Open Vision Networks. It's like a Netflix without the $500 million. But please, you have a place for your content, you go there and I'll help you out. I've been very fortunate. And one of those reasons is because I know who I am. I've told people about my story with being the Indian in Hollywood because it is who I am. I'd like our people just to to find who they are again. One of my first plays was called Awena Nina. Who am I? And that's always been there. It's always been a question. Yeah, I feel really dear in my heart that things are in that perspective. So let me read this. I wrote something for all of you. Because I knew I'd go off track somewhere. It's not a matter of political correctness. It's not a matter of Hollywood has to be nice to us. It's a fact that Hollywood is taking our stories and telling them for us from an outside perspective. And using actors who are not native to portray us. If that's your choice, as a director, producer, studio, then so be it. Just be honest about it. And comment about it. Make a statement. Apologize. Or just say, fuck you. Just say something. Just acknowledge us. We are not invisible. And we don't just exist in your fictional romantic universe. We survived your removal. When a story is being told about a reservation, there's poverty and injustice, yes. But in that community, there is a band leader with education. There's a lawyer. There are youth representatives. There are powwows. There is resilience. How the hell would we have survived hundreds of years of institutionalized devastation and genocide if we as peoples were not resilient? But Hollywood doesn't believe it fits their narrative to portray us as resilient. They want to save us. But the truth is, we have to save ourselves. So what can be done about this? We must acknowledge and support our writers and directors. We are writing and creating our own projects. This takes time, but the future of Native filmmaking is prosperous. When looking for young Native women, casting directors seem to be clueless, because there are plenty of young Native female role models that are out there. And I have my friend Donette here, who's an artist, challenging stereotypes. She's going to be speaking at the UN. So that's kind of what I had for you guys. Yeah.
On, please. Thank you. You made me cry, dude. We have 15 minutes for question and answer. And if you have a question for Adam, just put up your hand and I'll give you the microphone and you can ask him.
Hello. Hi. I want to preface this really quickly by saying that, over here, hi. I've always thought that one of the most interesting film roles for an Aboriginal actor was Graham Greene in Die Hard 3. And that's because his ethnicity is never brought up. He's just a guy who plays a police officer. I was wondering, what's been your relationship with roles where your ethnicity is never addressed, where it's just you're a guy who shows up to work?
Well, I've been lucky that I've been, like, my first lead as a non-Indian was called The Last Stop. It was in Vancouver. And it was funny because I got a call and they're like, "Oh, Adam, we got you an offer to play the lead." Awesome. What is it? You're a sheriff in the middle of nowhere and someone's killing people. Yeah, awesome. And when I read the script, I realized it was non-descriptive. It wasn't an Indian, it's just the sheriff. And I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. So it kind of woke me up that it's like, whoa, I have this in my head that I can only play Indian. And then it took me into the world of, I'm going to challenge and just push the envelope. So, it's, if people could be in the room with me, it'd be awesome, me trying to do the movie Red Dragon. And it's me and Ralph Fiennes. And I'm crossing my fingers. Oh my God, why him? It's me and him. And to sit there and realize, holy shit, I'm going up against Ralph Fiennes. I don't care if I get this or not. Yeah! But those are those things that I'm able to be a part of. And it makes me work harder. I don't have to tell people that, oh, I'm going up against this guy or that guy for this. Because they don't have to know that, I just hope that I can get my role. So I've been fortunate enough that I can compete on a level against people where a director says, Adam, I'm doing this movie and I want you to play Jesse James. It's like, was he Indian? And it's like, no, I just think you're cool and you'd really make him really, it's like a little twist. All right. And then in the end, they went and wanted Colin Farrell. But for me, to work with the director on that level, it really is, it's beautiful. I just got to keep going. And when you see an Adam Beach movie, I hope I'm Indian. That's who I am. So when you see me get a non-Indian role, I make sure to make it more Indian. I want to talk to the moon. Can we put that in there? Just a little.
There's somebody upstairs. Question.
Me?
Yep.
Are you talking to me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just asking if you dreamed about having superpowers, how is that possible?
If I had superpowers?
Yeah, but how is that possible? How can you make that real happen in real life?
Oh. Okay. When, let's say Superman, right? When they do a movie, there's a thing called a green screen. So Superman can lay down on something like this, right? And he doesn't move, but a fan is blowing on him to make things move. And what you're seeing in the background is somebody went on a plane with a camera and flew everywhere. So what you see is the actual filming of a plane in the background on the screen. And Superman, when he turns, in reality, the plane camera is turning. So it's kind of like this illusion. Do you know what I mean?
He still gets superpowers in real life. That makes no sense. When you dream to be.
Well, with Superman, Superman is an alien.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to go way back, 20 odd years, and ask you about your experience in working on the TV series North of 60.
Wow, North of 60. That's... When I started acting, there was this moment where Indian stories were being told. North of 60 was one of those places. And when they approached me, Tina Keeper at the time was a friend of mine, and I was there for a party when she got selected to play the lead in North of 60. And when they asked me to come in, they said, "Adam, will you come and play a street hustler?" And I was like, whoa, that's some heavy stuff. Let's do it. Because I felt like I could do anything. And when I did that role, it made me see a part of who we are when it comes to Vancouver. That there is a lot of Native people there who are stuck in that one avenue, living on the streets. And North of 60 was a view into our world on reservations. And I was lucky to be a part of that because it saw off-reservation life for some people, not everybody. And it was important to teach people about HIV, to let them understand that, you know, people are living with this, and we have to educate them. So I was lucky to be a part of that. Yeah. It was fun. Snowman.
Hi.
Hi.
What can I, as a white, educated woman, do to help rewrite the Hollywood Indian?
Throw away your romance novels. I always tell people it's kind of like if you're investing in culture, celebrating culture of the arts, culture of whatever, that it's very important for you to celebrate the original people here in their culture, because that's like the first culture introduced, you know? So I would say join a powwow, find out whose territory this is, and just do some research in history, because once you start understanding who we are and our teachings, it will change your life. You will see the water for its beauty. You'll see the life in the trees. The birds become alive. You know, you acknowledge that. And everything you see is just distorted and changed, and you will become a different person. Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry if you said this in the beginning, but I was just wondering, listening to your spiritual journey here, what prompted you to start that? Like, what, and how long have you been doing that? Like, I guess, like I'm taking mental health right now, and a lot of it starts with the spiritual journey, and recognizing and living their authentic self. So I was just curious, what prompted you to start your spiritual journey?
My wife is a clinical psychologist, and I've always understood that a person has to hit rock bottom. And I learned that losing my parents is as rock bottom as you can get. And the journey started with a stone. And if it wasn't for that teaching, I wouldn't be here. I was already planning stuff. And there are rules and regulations to mental health that need to be followed. But if you integrate who we are as a people to our own people, you will wake something up that just requires an attention of who they are. And when that is woken up, it is powerful, because our teachings, especially in ceremony, I don't know if you guys have gone to ceremony. All of us have the innate ability to believe in something. We have faith to push us through something. Everybody has that strength and belief. There's atheists. I don't believe in anything. That's great, but you believe in yourself. There's our teachings, there's churches, there's other religions. It's all there. When you awaken the spirit of an Indian, plants grow. There is something about us that we're trying to figure out that will balance out the world, if you want to think of a greater scheme of things. Because things were pretty perfect back in the day. And if you can go to your mental patient and, say, there was us, this is who we are, and you give them ability to have those tools that are inside us, they will wake themselves up. Then deal with the psychology, the medical, the what, But our heart needs to love. If we can love and comfort ourselves with that identity, it'll do a lot of magical things. And how I know is I'm proof of that. So if we can stop abandoning who we are, it will wake us up. Now, how do we do that? I think people think that you can go and put a Band-Aid in communities and, it's there. It's in their earth. It's in their cemeteries. It's in their prayers, their ceremonies. It's all there. It just needs to be woken up. And for me, I'm a good example because I'm still here talking about it, How? I don't know. There's something there.
I think there's a question upstairs.
Hopefully that answered something that...
This is not really a question, it's just a statement. First of all, I want to thank you for your strong words. I think what you had said about going around and talking about who we are as Indian people, I like the word Indian. To me, it's to each their own. Everybody always says, you know, like there's colonized words that we use. I use my words. And I work with the kids on my reserve. I do a lot of programming with them. I do a lot of self-esteem boosting with them. Anything I can to try and pick their spirits up, and that's exactly it, their spirits. You know, a lot of them, their spirits are broken because of alcoholism, because of addictions on the reserve, everything. I've gone through the same thing as you. Healing within yourself has to come first before you can start healing with other people. Something that they started 2 years ago through the Saskatoon Tribal Council is they started a film camp at Beaver Creek for our kids on the reserves. We take 6 youth from the Saskatoon Tribal Council reserves to Beaver Creek, and we have mentors there that do film teachings with the kids. They learn how to do the storyboards, the storylines, the characters. They do the editing, the filming, everything, the action, everything. And they learn so much from it. Every year, I have about 30 kids, 40 kids that want to all come to that film camp, but I can only take 6. I wish there were more people that would, this is heavy. I wish more people would come to the reserve and hear our kids' stories. Those are the kids that know exactly what they have to deal with on reserve and going off reserve to go to school. Those are the stories that we need to start hearing in Hollywood. We need to quit allowing these people to make money off of us. They've been doing it for far too long. And I love the idea that you're doing it in a good way, with a good heart, and that's what I teach my kids. When you're going to voice yourself, you voice yourself properly, respectfully. Don't go around stomping your feet. Don't go around hitting tables. Don't go around yelling. You talk from here. This is what the Creator gave you. You talk from this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Adam. There's so many things I want to say to you and ask you, but first I just want to say I've been on your website for the Adam Beach Film Institute, and I know that you are looking to help First Nations youth and trying in filmmaking, but I was wondering if you are or will be doing anything for acting classes for actresses and actors, because I'm very interested in that, and I was just wondering, or if you have any advice about that.
Well, what we do at the Film Institute is we teach you everything. Acting, directing, writing, camera, lighting, the whole works. And then when you're done, you determine where you want to go. You know, if it's acting, then, you know, I try to get you to the next level of being seen, or go find an agent, or, you know, work harder on your craft, you know. The thing about acting is that it's very difficult because there is no timeline to when you're going to work. It could take you 13 years to get your first role, but it's that journey of getting there, you know. So when you come to my school, if you write to them and let them know, we'll take care of you. And me and my friends, we're putting together films, and we need to fill up a lot of our slots. So, like right now, my wife's writing her movie, and she's selecting non-actors to play these roles. And I'm like, whoa, all right, good luck, you know?
Okay, thank you. You're an inspiration.
Yeah.
All right, we have time for one more question.
Oh, come on, let's have 2 more.
Well,
One more.
you know what? Adam, right after this, Adam will be here, so you can ask him in face-to-face.
We're shutting down the web.
Hello, and what to call? My question for you, Adam, is what is your take on cultural appreciation as Indigenous peoples?
Ooh, say that again. I missed you there.
What is your take on cultural appreciation for indigenous peoples?
For the youth,
Indigenous peoples, like as a whole.
cultural appreciation.
Yeah.
Wow, I hate these loaded questions. Cultural appreciation. I think it's important as an individual to select their time and place on determining their knowledge of culture within their territories. Like people in Saskatoon, it's not a requirement. Whether you're Indian or not, you make a choice. But I think the appreciation of culture for our people is outside. It's looking up to that moon. And I know I always say, grandmother moon, ah! But when I see that moon, I see myself in a moon ceremony with the women where I was, as the keeper of the fire Iskote, and I would make sure that fire was burning so they can talk amongst themselves for the strength and awareness, the importance of women. And them helping me to do a drum ceremony, a birthing of the drum, putting water and strawberries on it. And they all come together to wake it up as I hold it. So when they hit their drums, it's playing its own sound. I don't even have to touch it. That's what's available out there. We need to find a way to get at it. How we make that choice to get there, that's the individual kind of person's choice. And that's something I can't say, let's make Friday Anishinaabe Day, yay! When it's every day. So it's kind of hard to characterize and put something as in culture in one perspective when it's available to you every day, everywhere you walk. The wind, the rain, the birds, that connection, it's there. And it'll work with you in ways that I don't explain. So it's kind of just acknowledging what's available out there, you know? I'll tell you guys a story before I end. There was one day, it was the most painful experience in my life, where I questioned the Creator, where I questioned my identity, where I questioned my culture. It was a day that my wife said, I want us to break up. It ripped me apart that I went for a walk with my daughter. And as I was walking, contemplating the end of the world, and I gotta leave and figure things out, I looked up and I saw a hawk in Los Angeles flying in a circle. Oh, thank you, hawk. Whew, it makes me feel better. Push, push, push. And I stopped and I went, you know what? Fuck you. You asshole. Look where I am. I've prayed, I've told you I am, and you're not even coming down here, you're just showing yourself? Ugh. Apologize, Beach, that's the Creator. I'm sorry. But God damn it, this is how I feel. And I walked with the idea of, why don't you come down here and show me who you are? So I went home. Days later, I woke up and I heard crows. In my neighborhood, when crows come out, there's a hawk. And I was like, no way. I woke up and I opened my front door, and in the trees were like 20 crows, 20 hawks. Not hawks, crows. These black things going, wah, wah, wah. And I look going, oh my God, this is crazy. And in the middle of them was a hawk looking at me, and I went, no way. Put my head down and I said, I'm so sorry. And then I looked up at it, and I just kind of had it like a moment with this bird. In its claw was a squirrel. And I was like, oh my God, that is amazing. So the hawk lifted up, threw the squirrel in front of me, and flew away. And I was like, you got to get your squirrel back. I ran around trying to give it back its squirrel. Didn't work out. It's weird seeing an Indian running around with a dead squirrel chasing a hawk in LA. So I threw it on top of a garage that it was nearby. You have to have it back. But later I thought, that being came to acknowledge what I said. And at the time I took it that this hawk said, hey you, wake up, snap out of it. Here's my kid's food. Do you know how hard it was catching this fast little rodent? Now eat, feed yourself. Damn it. And went to find its other food. So I carried that with me as a reminder that I always have to feed myself, take care of myself. Question if it hurts. There's a reason why. And then I went to ceremony, and in the ceremony I was asking if one day I could bring my daughter to be named in ceremony. And they said, yeah, I want to give her her name. They said, you have her name. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, you say these hawks come and visit you. They're not visiting you, Adam. No way! They're visiting your daughter, and they're offering gifts for her. And it's amazing. So I come to see things in different perspective and different lights. There's teaching everywhere, and we just have to be open to those teachings. Regrets, thank you.
My name is Dwayne Brenna from the drama department. It falls to me to say a few thank yous before we close tonight. As Dean Blum-Smith said, in 2002, Gail and Mark Appel, through their generosity, established the Gail Appel Lecture Series. And with that lecture series, we have been able to bring to this campus such influential thinkers and artists as Buffy St. Marie, Tanya Tagaq, Ellen Lightman, Sir Kenneth Robinson, and now the amazing Adam Beach. I want to thank Gail and Mark for their continued and long-standing support of literature and the fine arts on this campus, so thank you very much. I'd also like to thank the Gail Appel Lectureship Committee, and particularly Justine Jenny and Blessing Madenga, who coordinated the details for Adam's visit. And thank you, too, to the Communications and Events Office for their promotional support. And finally, I'd like to say another thank you to Adam Beach, not only for tonight's lecture, but for making himself available to our students all day long, way outside the call of duty. Also for showing me how Superman really worked. I appreciate that. If you're a student in the drama department, it doesn't get more exciting than to meet and listen to and rub shoulders with a man who has parlayed his love of acting and his love of theater into a hugely successful film career. And one of my students said it best today when she said to me, "I got a selfie with Adam Beach, and my family got jealous." So thank you on behalf of the University of Saskatchewan and its students. I would like to thank you, Adam, and to invite you back to our campus whenever the Spirit moves you to come back. So thank you.
I'd like to offer you one more story just so we can close it off. Some people ask me about teachings, like how do we do a culture appreciation? How do we help with mental health? How do we wake the Indian inside of us? I phoned my teacher. He lives in Minnesota. Call him Nappy. I said, "Hey, dude, I need a song." "For what?" "Just so I could sing every day, you know? My song. I want to say, I love the world. You know, something." And he said, "Well, ask Iktomi the spider." "What?" "Yeah, go feed the spider. Ask the spider." "Ah, never mind, dude. Don't worry about it. It's okay." And I hung up, and my wife heard this. 2 days later, my wife yells, "Adam!" "What?" "There's a fly in the bathroom. Kill it." "No, it's for your spider." Okay. So this is going to happen. So I go downstairs, true story, grab this fly. Did I say spider in the bathroom? No, fly in the bathroom, right? Just trying to be clear. Grab this fly in the bathroom. And I go on the balcony of my house because there's a spider that I've always just looked at all the time. And I look at the web and I say, "Iktomi, I've come to feed you." And that spider just went and took it up. It was amazing. And I said, "I would love a song. Thank you, miigwech." And left it. 2 days later, I had a dream. And this is my song that I'm going to sing to you guys. And it happens when I do this. In my dream, I'm hitting a big drum. So, oh, I wish I had a drum. In the dream, it's like, boom! No. I'll just sing it. That's my song. Right.
Just like to, on behalf of the lecture series and all of us here, Chimigwech, can I ask you? Okay.
Thank you guys for being here. It really means a lot, you know, and I just ask, just wake up, wake yourself up, that spirit, whatever, just believe